Okay.
So I can't look.
You do whatever you want to do.
No, because you're gonna
Nope, ain't gonna say nothing.
lies.
Hi, I'm Carl,
And I'm Ebony.
and this is
The Loveless Marriage.
All right, we appreciate everyone for tuning in to our first episode, the first podcast of the Loveless Marriage. My name is Carl Butler. Once again, this is my lovely wife, Ebony Butler.
Yes, I'm Ebony Butler.
Well-
Thank you, Mr. Butler.
What would you have done if I said the wrong name?
I'd have been like,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
who was you about to say though, for real? Who was you about to say? It's all
No,
good.
I just
My
thought
feeling
about
over here.
it. That's funny. Thought I said the wrong name.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, I've seen people say the wrong name.
I'm okay. I know who I am.
But yeah, today on this first podcast, we appreciate everyone for tuning in. The first thing we want you to do is to subscribe.
Yay. Please subscribe
Yeah,
to our
what's the thing yet?
channel.
There it is. You see it at the bottom of the screen. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so that whenever we post a brand new video, you'll be the first one to know about it.
Hot off the press.
What is wrong with you? Oh my God, what's wrong with you? Okay. So anyway,
I'm normal.
this is the Loveless Marriage. If you want to know who we are, we actually posted an intro video introducing ourselves, our
Yes.
background, where we come from, what we believe. My wife talked about some stuff extra. So
I'm sorry, I have to stay on script so I can't get off track.
yeah, and so I got on a time limit. There
I
you
feel
go.
like I'm a preacher. You got 30 minutes.
Yep. And so, what we're talking about today is just the perception of love. Like, what is love? I believe that we don't live fulfilled relationships, or we don't find fulfilled relationships because the first thing we're looking for is love. And it's a good concept. Don't get me wrong. Now, when we say the loveless marriage, it doesn't mean we're not in love. It just means that we have a more clear understanding of what love is. It's not necessarily at the top of the list, but it is a foundation in our relationship.
I would agree. I don't like that. I don't like that terminology though. That in love, it's just something about it. But it's all good. But
Yeah.
I do believe that. Yeah, we definitely have the basis, the fundamentals of love in our marriage. So please don't think that we don't love each other, Lord Jesus.
Because the church folks went crazy, man.
we got
Listen,
some inbox
when-
messages and
When we posted the loveless marriage, they said, "Are y'all still saved? Are y'all still in the church?
Are y'all
don't believe in love?
Y'all got divorced already?
Like, is this an arranged marriage? And
and-
did y'all sign pair?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
Like, it ain't
like,
that serious. Like,
Really ain't.
y'all relax. Like, some things you just do for marketing. Like,
Yeah.
calm down. Have several seats. It's okay. It's okay. We good. Carl and I are good.
yeah, we're in love." So
We have to understand. I don't like that. We're in love.
yeah, we're.
I got him.
yeah.
He got me. I
Yeah.
got him. We good.
We ain't going nowhere. Pretty much, so we ain't going nowhere. But
Right.
yeah, we're just going to explore the perception of love, what love really is. So, but the first thing we wanted to explore is the number one belief that keep a lot of people single. The number one belief that leads to divorce. The number one belief that just warps our perception of what relationships are. And that is the quote, "All you need is love." All you need is love. No matter what, all you need is love. And so, is that true? Is it true all you need is love?
I believe you need love as a foundation, but there are major components that make your relationship evolve and grow. And I think those components are different for each relationship in each couple. What you and I may need may not be what someone else needs. And I guess that's what I think it's funny when you see people talking about relationship goals and stuff like that and hashtags that, like, yes, the pictures look good and we can take nice, beautiful, wonderful profile pictures, but you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, or you don't see what makes the relationship or the marriage work. And I would say the number one thing is when you enter into marriage is that, no offense, it's not about you anymore. You become selfless. And I think for some people that's scary.
Yeah. And I just want to address something that you said earlier when you started off talking about how basically we don't have all of the answers. I can't stand it when people, oh my gosh, when people they post, if you do these 4 things, you'll be in love forever, your marriage will work. There's no formula for being happy in marriage. What works for us may not work for somebody else.
Right.
And what works for you may not work for us. But as long as it's working for you, keep doing what's working for you.
Right.
Because there's no perfect couple. There's no perfect. That's just a perception. You know, no matter how much wisdom someone has, no matter how much knowledge someone has, there's no formula to making marriage work. And if you're a parent, there's no formula to raising kids. Like, there's no set formula because every child is different, just like every marriage is different.
Right. And I think for a lot of young women, because I can't speak for a man because I'm not a man, but I think for a lot of young women.
So hold on.
Thank you. But hold on. But you do see men trying to speak of what a woman. Okay, sorry, that's a different tangent from another day.
No, that's real.
But you do see some men trying to tell women what they need to do and what they shouldn't do, whatever. Pray for me. But I will say, as single women, it's good to have relationships that you admire, but don't covet someone else's relationship. Because you don't know the backstory. You don't know what they've had to endure. You don't know their story. And I think that messes some young women up when they think that, oh, it's going to be like my mom and dad, or it's going to look like my grandparents, or if he don't do this, he don't do that, da-da-da-da-da-da. You killed the brother before he even got a chance to get started, because Jesus, let him love you the way you need to be loved. And that's different. You know, Carl May, and I'm just using this as an example. One young lady may want her husband to give her pedicures and to massage her feet. She may love that. I don't like people touching my feet. So you don't have to do that. So I think what people need to be honest and say, okay, let us sit down and talk about what is our realistic expectations of how is this relationship going to work.
I think that's what a lot of people don't do,
right,
when you jump from relationship to relationship, because I've heard me and that women say, but I'll just say I've heard women say, you know, I'm a good woman because I do X, Y, Z, and why doesn't he appreciate it? Or the same thing with men, but you have to learn his expectations. Just because you're a good cook, just because you keep the house, maybe he doesn't care about that stuff,
right?
You know, but there are certain men that they overly care about it.
Right.
But then you have to learn your spouse. So that's another reason why I believe, I'm going to say this and we'll talk about it. I don't believe anyone is in love when they get married, because being in love means that you're selfless, means that you give up yourself. So you have to learn that person all over again. I don't care if you dated for a year. I don't care if you dated for 5 years. It's something about when that ring go on and the papers are signed, you start to develop a new relationship with that person. You start to find out new things about that person.
Sorry. And I agree, because when you're dating, me and Carl both said, dating is a lie. Dating is a lie. For some people, dating is a lie. You put on the show, you put on, okay, I let you see what I want you to see. You know, no offense, you don't see me when I go home. I don't have no wig on today, but I may in future podcasts. But you don't see me when I go home and I take this wig off. You don't see what's under. I have hair, but you don't see me looking crazy. You don't see me running around trying to find an outfit to look cute for you. You don't see any of that. And I think some people get caught up in the mystery and the wonder and the glory of the dating aspect, that once after you walk down that aisle and you stay in front of those people, basically, I have signed my life over to you and you have signed your life over to me. And we are standing in front of God saying, you know, we are committing to making this work. Mm-hmm. And only how we are leaving out of this world is if we're parted by death. And that's a major thing.
Yeah, like you're literally giving someone else control over your life, or not so much control, but you're giving someone else authority.
Yeah, you're submitting.
Yeah, you're submitting
to each other.
Yeah, to each other. It's not just one submit the other, and there's a huge Bible base that's been Bible verse that's been taken out of not even out of context. The verse is true, but the Bible also says men submit to your wives. Like
they forget
it's a
that
give
clause.
And take.
That's right. They forget that clause. We both have to be equally. I knew he was going to do that. But no, we both have to be equally submissive to each other in order for this to work. Because if I'm not submitting to you, your needs aren't going to get met. Thus, it's going to be some tension. It's going to be some friction. Certain things, I'm not going to be finished. Certain prayers is going to get held up. Certain things aren't going to get answered. And likewise, if you don't submit to me, certain things in your life, yes, when, of course, we love to quote that wonderful scripture, when he who find a wife, he obtains favor, but that favor comes with the cost. He has to that's a whole different podcast of the different 4 points of love and the agape love and all that.
Yeah.
But that's if you're not ready to get married, don't do it. I would say don't do it. Just don't do it. Just keep having fun dating, and don't let people pressure you into getting married. Because once you walk through that door and you walk up them steps, that's your forever. And you got to be okay with, this is my forever, and I'm okay with him being my forever, and he's okay with me being his forever.
Yeah. I mean, it's marriage is a different it's a different beast. And both of us, if you go back and watch our first video, our introduction, if you have watched it already, if not, you can go watch it right now. You know that we both been,
when we done talking.
They know what I mean. When we both been married and divorced before. We both got married young. Right. Ebony at 19, me at 22, and ended up in the same place, divorced, because you have this perception of love. You have this perception of love is all we need, and we're
gonna conquer the world.
We can overcome anything as long as we have love. I'll sleep in a cardboard box as long as we have love. Forget
That's what
that.
I ain't gonna do.
I ain't sleeping in no cardboard box.
That's what she ain't gonna do.
But no, and a lot of people like to hold you to that love is all you need, but that is a lie. I ain't lying, man. That is a lie, and people want to use the Bible verse. Matter of fact, let me pull it up. The characteristics of love. How love suffered long, is kind. I believe this is in 1 Corinthians 13.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 13.
Yeah, love suffered long, is kind, envieth not. It doesn't vaunt itself, is not puffed up, not easily provoked, beareth all things, believeth, hopeth, endureth. People like to use that as the platform for love is all you need. But let's see what's not in that scripture. Love knows how to manage money. Love knows how to, give me something else.
Love manage money. Take care of children.
Love knows how to get up and go to work every day. Love
Man,
knows
don't
how
work, you don't eat.
I mean, there's so much missing.
Just to
love knows how to grow with that person.
Right.
When you get married young, you begin to grow. You're not going to be the same person at 30 that you was at 20, at 21. And so love has to grow with that person.
That's the endurance part of love.
Yeah.
That's where I say that, I wrote something down about love and about, I believe in the beginning of your relationship, you experience kind of like that eros type of love, like that romantic, that's when you kind of like Beyonce say, that's when you drunk in love and you just be on some other kind of stuff. But love, it's a width of love. Like love is the height and the depth. It expands, it reaches. And once you're married and you are committed to each other, you have to really take on that mindset, no, every Sunday, not Sunday. Every morning we don't wake up and we kiss each other. Hi, how are you doing? Some relationships require that. We don't. We do say go hello and good morning. But, when I look at him like, okay, I'm committed to loving this man. and he's committed to loving me, and we're committing on growing together. But even within that, you know, I have to respect this man and I have to honor this man. And for a woman, and I have to feel safe with this man. So I would say, because, you know, we did use some scriptural references, but as Christ requires for the woman, you know, I won't say my only requirement, but my main requirement is to honor and to respect my husband. And for women, that can be a very strong, if that can be a very strong thing for a woman to do.
And I kind of think that is because I think love for women comes easy, or comes easier than men. I think for us, we're not taught how to, we're not really taught how to love. You know, and I said it because in my second book, Factors About Him, Hey Boys for Men, I talk about how young boys are raised. You know, we're raised off video games. We're raised off of playing outside. We're raised off of sports. We grow up in a fantasy world. We grow up in this world of fantasy. And so we're not prepared to step into the role to love and to be a husband. While little girls grow up playing house, playing with Barbie dolls, and you know they're prepared. Easy Bake Oven, Kitzel, that's back in the day. But you know they're preparing to be a wife. They're preparing their whole life. They're thinking, I'm gonna love somebody. I'm gonna love somebody. But so that's why the Bible literally commands men, love your wife, because we have to be taught. The Bible says, love your wife as Christ loved the church. And so we have to be taught to be selfless, because growing up, we're selfish.
Right.
And so we don't have that in us. And just like women, it's easy for women to love. So the Bible didn't tell y'all to love. It said submit. It said to, you know, honor. And so because that's hard, because y'all are just like us. You know, I mean, it's like, it's that old saying, anything you can do, I can do. You know, me and the women always going back and forth.
I can do better. No, you can't. Yes, I can.
Yeah, but I mean, love was never, and you know, Ebony brought out some good points that when you look at couples in the Bible, as we was talking about this on this week, love was hardly mentioned in their relationships. When Adam saw Eve, he said, she's bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I'll leave my mother and father, but he never said I loved her. He just recognized that she's meant to be mine. She came from me.
And she was meant to assist me and to help me.
That was her purpose. God said, I'm going to give you help. He didn't say, I'm going to give you someone to love. He said, I'm going to give you someone that's going to help you build. And so a lot of times we get deceived in this love thing, and we say, I'm going to choose you because I love you. But you may love that person, but can they help you build? You know, can they talk to you like they have some sense?
Right.
You know, I've seen some women love abusive men, and
they stay because they say he loves me.
So I mean, it's
that's a different podcast.
And so that's and so that's the reason for the name, the Loveless Marriage. Also, is because I know Ebony has other examples, but but love shouldn't be your primary reason for choosing a spouse or choosing someone to spend your life with. It's a main reason. It's a foundational reason, but it shouldn't be your main reason. Right. The number one reason.
And like I was saying before, there's some other points that I hit on, but I believe that for any relationship to grow and thrive, you do need communication. For me, you need communication. You need that respect. You need that trust. You need that honor. To me, that's what makes marriages work. And you just don't do it one day. It's a daily thing. And to be honest with Carl and I, like we both said on our first video, if you check it out, we would love for you to check it out. Give us some thumbs up. Give us some good feedback. But yes, we like thumbs up. Some good feedback. But for Carl and I, the second time around, it's scary. It is scary, especially when because you already have a preconceived notion of what relationship is, marriage is, and you've done it before. So you're entering into it now. I don't want to say blindly, but you are entering into it like, okay, God, you know, I asked for a second chance, and he's like, okay, I presented you, like with Adam, I've presented you with someone. Now it's up for both of you all to make this journey work. So what are your thoughts on, what would you say some things as for a man? What do you think that you all look for? Like I said, I said for women, we're really strong on communication. We need that respect. That respect factor, the trust factor, definite. So what would be some things that a man looks for, you feel? I mean, you're only one man, but hey.
I'm only one, but I represent all.
The lies he tells. Okay.
I'm like the international spokesman for.
Okay, we're gonna start this all over again.
So, but no, I think men don't necessarily marry the woman that. I'm in trouble.
Yeah, like he'll get knocked out later. It's like, nah, say what you gotta say. I don't care.
But no, men don't necessarily marry the women that we.
The women or the woman?
Only you. No, but I don't think love is number one on our list. I think it's trust.
Wow.
I think for men marry the woman they trust, and I say that because when we trust you, when we know you can handle our dreams, our hopes, our visions, and you want you in our weaknesses, and you won't use it against us, I think that's what Adam did. Adam said, she's someone that can help me. Like, I trust her to help me build. That's what Samson and Delilah. He didn't necessarily marry her or was with her because he was just so in love with her. He trusted her enough to lay his head in her lap and trust her with his strength. And wow. I mean, he trusted the wrong woman because she ended up taking his strength,
right?
Which is a totally different podcast. But men, we want someone that we can lay our head in your lap and trust you with our strength, and trust that you won't turn against us and use it as a weakness. And so,
wow, that's powerful.
Yes. So just like I was saying earlier, we're not raised off love. We're not raised. We want someone we can trust. We learn very early to trust our friends. We learn very early to trust our authority figures. But love is not high on our list because we're not raised like that. We're raised if a man can trust you. Well, everyone who's ever asked me, how do I get a man and how do I make sure that he trusts you? Stop trying to look cute. I mean, don't stop trying to look cute. Do not stop trying to look cute. But no, don't make that your main focus. Ask him, what is his goals? What are your dreams? And then make one of his dreams happen. That was with me and Ebony. I said to her last year, I want to put on a conference.
I think you need to go back because I did something before that.
What you do before that?
First, giving honor to God.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Your real estate license. When we were just dating. Come on, come through. Come through, honey. Even when you dating. Like the scripture said, he who finds a wife. Now, I'm not saying go out cooking and all that. It is good to do that. You should, some men want that. Carl liked that I could cook. So that is one thing off the list. But even as a woman, you should be preparing yourself now. Again, I'm going to say that. You should be preparing yourself now as a woman to say, okay, don't ask God for something that you really haven't all the way prepared for.
Yeah. Because
what happens if he does present you with someone and you're not prepared for him? And then he might not be prepared for you. And flip side of that, as a man needs to make sure that he's being prepared himself to be a husband to a wife. So I will say that as a woman, and it's inside of all of us, we have that nurturing side, that's a beautiful thing that God has given us as a woman. And I'll say this, one thing that, when I was transitioning out of one relationship and shutting that door, I remember I went to a service and Carl happened to be preaching. And I only heard him speak one other time, and that was like for a New Year's service. And I was like, oh, he did good. Like, you know, he's a new kid on the block. So I was like, hey, man, praise the Lord. Yeah, he did good. I was all happy. I don't know why. Okay, let me help you.
I'm just saying I can preach. Like,
let me help.
like, y'all know ones.
Let me turn off his mic.
That's tuning
sound
in.
man in the back.
I can preach.
Everybody doesn't know, so let's turn off his mic in the back. Amen.
I know they don't know, so I tell them. It's all good. Go ahead.
But anyway, he was exhorting for that service, so we heard a little snippet for Carl. Amen. God bless. He was good. So the second time, actually, that I was in service, it was for a revival service. And he was sitting up there and he was preaching. And I said to myself, I want to help this man become great. And I was like, okay, whoa. This is crazy, because I've never said that about any man. And I have male preacher friends, and I've seen preachers and, you know, single, married, whatever. But I never said that about a man. And, you know, I happen to know that Carl, of course, was single because he attended my church. But it freaked me out. And I was like, why do I want to help him great? I don't know him. Like, I don't know him. But it just came out of me, and it freaked me out because, like I said, I never experienced anything like that before. So I would say, women, you know what God has placed inside of you. And even if you're saved or unsaved, you know, God has given you a gift as a woman. It's up to you to cultivate your own gift and to develop your own gift. And for whoever God sends in your life, you'll be able to minister to his need. If it's done correctly, and you take time and you grow it, your relationship, I believe God places that inside of you. And it's up to you to grow it and nurture it and to develop it. But he first has to trust you with it. Like he said, that's a big key component. So I remember Carl, I asked him what was his vision. And ladies, you should have that on your list. That should be something. That should be like number one. What is your vision for your life? And if he can't answer that, you're like, okay, well, finish eating that free meal, get in your car, and then drive away and think about some things on the way home. Praise the Lord. Eat that free meal. Think about some things on the way home, though.
Now,
but what?
I'm not gonna go that far because no.
Don't. Was she just supposed to get up and stop eating and walk out?
No. I'm not saying that. But
I said think about if he can't tell you.
But sometimes maybe it's her role to help him discover a vision. Because some men never even thought about where's my life going. And so I'm just saying, don't let that be a deal breaker.
I'm trying to do the side eye. I don't know how to do the side eye.
Don't let it be a deal breaker.
I will say we good and grown. Yeah. I don't have to disclose my age, but I'm good and mature, and you're good and mature. Mm-hmm. You should have some sense of direction towards your life. I'm not saying that you're trying to do like we all see everybody on Facebook trying to boss up and going in and corporate takeovers. I ain't saying all of that, but at least have a direction from your life. If you can say, okay, this is where I have this is where I want to go. Direction is good, but if you don't have anything,
I mean, but see, I'm just say this. Some people, they have the work ethic, they have the mindset, they've just never thought about direction. Some people, if you just point them in the right direction, they have all the tools they need. And maybe sometimes that's a woman's role also, just to say, let's go. I
said direction. Direction.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, like some people, even though they may not have direction, sometimes to be pointed in the right direction, a man will feel like I owe you my life, like, and so that's.
So I will say this. I guess you're right. So to say that one of Carl's visions or goals that he wanted to achieve in his life is he wanted to get his real estate license. And I was like, well, why you can't get it? And you were like, never thought about it. And the woman that I am, okay, you tell me you want to do something, I'm going to make it happen. So I was able to point you, like you said, I was able to point you in the right direction. I was able to help those doors be open for you to walk through to get what you wanted. And I even remember the day that you went for your appointment, I was talking to my cousin and I started to cry and I was like, oh God, this feels so weird. Why am I crying? Why am I happy? And she's like, cause you like him. I'm like, this is, oh my God. Cause I was like, I don't know why I'm so excited about this. Why am I happy? But it just made me feel, it just really made me feel good. Like, wow, like a man is listening and he's taking direction and he feels, like you said, safe, you know.
Now, while you was talking, this also came to mind for all the women that are listening to this. Seriously, I also show an enormous amount of attention in her also. So you have to be careful that some men will give you their vision, their dreams, and you'll help them, and then they're out the door because they they never really wanted you. They just wanted your skill set. They wanted, you know, what you could do for them. So make sure that he's interested in you first. Like,
amen, praise God.
Because make sure you just ain't going around making dreams. You ain't Tinkerbell.
Sprinkle fairy dust.
Yeah, don't
but that is true though, because
magic wand making stuff happen. Make sure he likes you first.
Number one, because but Carl is correct, and I think I can talk about this, and we can probably talk about some past relationships. I've done that before. I've helped men come to the light, Carol Ann. I've helped them have their aha moment, and then I'm like, okay, we about to do this, and it's like, no, like, thank you. You know, I will always, you know, that wonderful speech. I will always be indebted to you, Ebony. You know, you're a great woman, and you are awesome and I love you. Yeah. Want. So yeah.
I mean,
he's right.
And because, you know, when you said that, it made me think about the example we're using, Adam and Eve. The first thing he did before he put her to work, so to speak, before she began helping him, was he identified purpose in her. Like he looked at her and was like, she's bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Meaning I want her to be in my life. And then they started to build. Right. So if he hasn't given you that indication yet,
don't do it, girl.
Look beyond the words, because we all have good words. We all can
Google stuff.
Whatever.
Throw it together.
But make sure that he's shown a genuine interest. Like even just make sure he's interested.
Right. Because like you don't want to get your feeling hurt. Right. You're right. Because a lot of women do that, and you set yourself up, and then you, like and I can only attest for me, then you end up balled up in the corner crying and rocking. Like, what did I do?
You're balled up in the corner crying.
Hell mercy. Yes, I was. I mean, I could be honest.
That's hilarious.
I mean, for real though, seriously, because like you said, I love this man. And I thought, you know, I was good. Oh yes, let's say this too. Just because you're good for his family doesn't mean you're going to be good for him. I was good for his family. His family liked me. You know, his mom was like, thank you. You know, thank you. You know, I appreciate you. You know, I'm thinking, you know, God is using you to help, you know, all of that wonderful stuff. But at the end of the day, if he's not ready, he's not ready.
Yeah.
And as much as it hurts and I'm laughing about it, thank God I can laugh about it. But when I was going through it, it was hell. It really was. It was hell. And I kept asking God, what is wrong with me? And I will never forget that. I was like, what is wrong with me? Something has to be wrong with me. And I would ask my friends, is something wrong with me? You know, like Carl said, you know, in our previous podcast, our first one, yeah, you may can cook, you may can clean, you may can do all these other things, but if he doesn't want you, he'll take from you. Yeah. So, yeah, a man's going to take a good warm meal. A man's going to like coming over to a nice clean house. A man's going to like being seen with you if you're nicely dressed and you smell good and you take care of yourself. Of course. But in his mind, he already has it made up. He has his intentions already made up.
We know, as a matter of fact, I was reading something today that said a man know in the first conversation whether or not you are a throwaway or a keeper. Right? We know because just like women can look at men and identify that man, like I believe there are only 12 types of people, and I don't get into that, but
I want to hear that.
I think
we never talked. I was about to say something.
But no, I think that we've all dealt with liars. So when you have a conversation with a person that you don't know and you see the characteristics that you saw in another liar, you can say you're a liar.
Right.
We dealt with, women players, you know how they talk, you know the mannerisms,
They be
you
slick
know,
with it.
you may choose to ignore it, but
Right.
you know. So when you meet people, you already know.
You know.
And so just be wise.
Heed the
and-
signs.
Yeah, don't be so gullible, man. Just
Right.
but yeah, going back to the point that she helped me build. And I was talking about all this, but she helped me build. I gave her what I wanted to do, whether it was real estate, whether it was my first conference. She put it together. I mean, don't get it wrong. She ain't put up the money and
Pat the
There you
back.
go.
Thank you. Hallelujah. Shop by say.
now
Go
when
ahead.
he
Hold on, I
give,
did put some money into your conference.
I know you put some, but it ain't like I drained your bank
I
account.
understand. True. Okay, go ahead.
No, but
Continue.
I'm making a point though. When he gives you his dreams and visions, don't put up the money. If he's really serious about
Right.
doing it, and you point him in a direction and you pushing him, then he's gonna do it. But don't be gullible. That's how you start getting used. When you start putting up money, when you start saying, "Oh, he could do better if he just had a place to stay." If he just don't be gullible, because men, we
smell
identify
it. They smell it.
we
They
identify
sense it.
gullible women. When I was single, I had a conversation. I could have a conversation with a female. I know who I could use just for food. I know if I ever need a place to stay. And I knew who was serious. Men know who not to cheat on. We know who not to mess up the relationship with, because we know, and every man has said she's a good woman. Like she's not gonna put up with that. And so women, like we talked about earlier, women set the standards in a relationship. But you have to have standards in order to set the standards. And so if you don't come to the table with standards, we're gonna do what we want to do.
True.
Oh.
And even for me, I would say even for a man, I mean, I know we always say, it always seems like we're coming down on women, like women, no, if, don't take this out of context, but women, you need to boss up. But for some men too, because some women can run over a man. They can. If they don't feel like, okay, this dude gonna let me do whatever I want to do, I can drain his bank. I've seen it. I've seen women take advantage of really sweet men, but they have taken from him. They have drained him. And when they are done, they're like, good night, God bless. I got my red bottoms. I got my car. You pay for I know of a man that has paid for a woman's college tuition, bought her a brand new car,
We ain't paying for education.
and they're not together. He didn't even marry her. He married somebody else. And I would say the woman, but I've known of women that have drained bank accounts, and she is like, okay, thank you, and kept it moving, because women can tell a man that's a sucker too.
Yeah.
We can smell like, okay, this dude just want this, and I just got to be bothered with him for this amount of time, and then once I'm done.
No, I'm laughing because for some reason I have a naive face.
He does.
I was told that at a very young age. So
He does.
So my mom taught me. She actually sat me down and taught me. She's like, don't trust. I'm little. So for some reason I have sucker written on my face, and then when people
little
find
bit.
out I'm not a sucker,
A
they're
little bit.
offended. But
Yeah,
but yeah.
Well, we kind of had like a little funny relationship moment, like when Carla and I first started dating, and only our true friends would be able to laugh and appreciate this. I kind of, my clap back was a little strong one time, like it was a little overly strong. And I was like, okay, Carla not gonna break up with me because, I'm Ebony. Like, excuse me, I'm Ebony. We all, and I'm joking, but we all have this little ego inside of us. It's like, I'm this, I'm that. And he broke up with me. And it was not until that moment that we broke up, I was like, Lord Jesus, like, he's a good guy. And I realized, you know what? I had to check myself.
Sometimes you gotta pull that card.
So, yeah, he did. I was kind of like, yes, come on, wait a minute. But No, but I didn't want to lose a good man. And sometimes, even with relationships, and as we've talked, we've kind of talked about a lot of different things, but even with submitting, sometimes you have to say, you know what, let me shut up and take one for the team. I know I was right. He will never tell me I was right. But in order for us to keep moving forward, I'm not saying in this regard, because the argument was dumb that we broke up about. But you know what? It taught me a lesson. It taught me, you know what, Ebony, you could have lost a good man because your clapback was too strong. You needed to tone the clap back down while y'all was dating. And even in marriage, you got to still tone the clap back down. But, it taught me, I could have lost a good guy because I was doing too much.
Yeah. So, saying all this, just to say, love is not
all you need.
Love, yeah, love is definitely not all you need.
It's a wonderful foundation.
Let's look at some pictures. Let's look at some people. I'm sorry, that thought love was all they needed. Right. Top reasons for divorce: basic incompatibility. Say the word.
Incompatibility. Help the man of God.
Hey.
Infidelity. See, you had to help me. Infidelity, money issues, abuse, parenting abuse / addiction. So those are top reasons for divorce.
So incompatibility is 43%, and this comes from the Certified Divorce Financial Analyst in 2013. So it's 5 years later. So I know these numbers have gone up. But infidelity, 28%. Money issues. Listen, they taught me romance without finance is a nuisance.
What?
Nuisance. You gotta make stuff rhyme.
That was whack.
Yeah, whatever.
He ain't no DJ.
Hey, that's real though, man. Money issues. So all these people got married and they were in love.
Right.
They were definitely in love, but they were incompatible. 43% people were in love, but they were non-compatible. I ain't mess with you right now. Money issues, communication, love isn't everything.
And I would say, and I think we talked about it on our first podcast, but to reiterate it, certain things you just have to have adult conversations about. And I remember when Carl and I was honestly trying to decide, okay, are we going to be together? We just wasting each other time. We just here to have fun. I mean, we honestly sat down. I remember we went to Starbucks and we sat down and we talked like, if we going to make this happen, we just need to be honest. What are you looking for? What do you want? I had to be honest and tell him, okay, these are what I'm looking for. This is what I want. He had to be honest with me. And then once that information was released, you got to be able to accept it and say, okay, yes or no. And I even remember our bishop one time was teaching and he said, you even have to say those non-negotiables. And if the person can't handle your non-negotiables or you don't feel like they are accepting of certain things, then just you got to walk away. Yes, I can say, you know what, I love you. You're a great person, but it's just not going to work. Certain non-negotiables can work. And then certain people are like, no, they can't do this. I knew for me, and this is not any slight against a woman that has children, but I knew I have 4 children. This is a package deal. All of these wonderful little angels that they're angels in my eyes are coming with me. I know my kids ain't angels, okay? I have a realistic view of how my children are. But I knew my daughters, they're a package deal. Can you handle? Because I didn't ask him, and that's one thing we'll talk about too in the podcast. I never said, you gonna be my kid's daddy. I never did that. I asked them, can you handle being present in their life? And can you handle being a role model to them? And I think that's what people don't do. I don't think people honestly sit down and talk about, okay, we're going to, you get all happy, you hold hands and you kiss and you get matching outfits and take wonderful selfies. But at the end of the day, if we're going to be married and live together, we need to talk about these things.
Yeah. I think that's another reason why the divorce rate is so high. It's because people don't, you think when you get married, things just going to magically fall into place. But the same person that you're dating, the same person that you've been with for a year or 2 years, they're going to be that same person. You just got a ring on your finger now. You just got paperwork now. But if they've been lazy for 2 years, if they haven't worked, and
Jesus,
you get married and say, they're going to work because now we have this mortgage, now we have these car. No, they're going to still be that lazy person. People don't change overnight. And
with the help of the Lord, though.
Hey,
with the help of the Lord, brother.
That's a lot of help. That's a lot of help.
Lord.
That's a lot of help. That's that road to Damascus help. Some people need to be knocked off.
knocked off the horse.
Some people need to be knocked off their behind. But no, like people don't. I say people don't change because your characteristic, who you are, stays the same. Whether you're in the world, whether you're in church, the same people that. I'm talking church lingo now. The same people that were on 100 in the world, they're 100 in the church. The same people that were really quiet in the world, they're quiet. Like your character does not change.
That's a big thing too.
Yeah, it doesn't change. So you have to understand that you're dealing with something that's not going to change. That person's character is not going to change. So you have to make good decisions. Stop basing it off, I love them. You can love somebody and they hitting you in the face. You can love somebody and they don't know how to pay bills on time. You can love somebody and they don't have a license. They can't get a job because they have felonies. And I'm not talking I'm not talking bad about nobody, but I'm just saying you have to consider all these things. Why would you marry someone and they can't work or they can't provide a living for whatever reason? I understand things happen in life. God bless you, but you have to make sound decisions. Stop making decisions off of I love them or off of just because you had good sex and I'm going to marry this person because it was great. Like, okay, well,
after you get up, you got to do something.
Yeah.
No offense. After you get up, you got to go somebody got to go to work.
Yeah.
To pay for that bed that y'all laying up in.
Y'all laying in the street. Ain't gonna be nothing going on there. Finances ain't right. By the way, I just want to say this as we wrap up that she is kind of shady. She doesn't. No, seriously. Ebony doesn't love me unless my hair is cut.
Hunty. We're gonna play with this. I want women, and I'm gonna get some thumbs up, and I'm gonna get some comments because Carl has a shaded view, a little shaded view. It is something, and any woman I can talk to, and it's proven, it's something about when your man looks nice, when he has his hair cut, his face is nicely groomed. He got a little extra sparkle and twinkle, and he put a little face scrub on, clean it up a little extra. Every woman can attest, my man looks good. Now, when your man does not have a haircut and he looks busted, you're like, I like you and I love you, but he's missing that little missing ingredient, and that's the haircut. It's the same thing.
Some things we can't say.
It's the same thing for a woman as well. I know if I'm looking like beat at the head, I look crazy. I will be honest with mine. Like if my hair's not done the way it is now, short, if I haven't went to the salon, you best believe I'm going to buy a wig, and you can attest, I will go buy a wig. I will do what I have to do to come through. Now, if you don't want to tell me that, baby, you looking busted, it's okay. But you cannot get mad if I tell you, honey, you need to get a haircut. But I'm okay with you telling me, boo, go get your hair done. And I tell you, babe, right now, it's not a budget, but if you provide it, I will go.
And we thank you for tuning in.
No, he did not. He pulled the mic from me.
And we thank you for tuning in. You got your own mic.
I'm talking about, that. Oh, nothing.
We thank you all for tuning in for the first podcast of The Loveless Marriage. We're going to talk about crazy stuff every week. But no, this is going to be a great podcast for those who are ready to be serious about relationships. If you're ready to be serious, if you're ready to hear some truths then we're going to tell you the truth. We'll never lie to you.
And have fun with you as well. So,
Yeah.
again, thank you for turning into the Loveless Marriage. And
Remember to subscribe and like the video.
and share with your friends.
Share.
And
Yeah,
please
share the
tell
video.
us, give us your feedback. We are welcome to all feedback is welcome.
I don't like negative feedback. I'm listening
Lie.
now. I take it personal. If you
And I
say-
tell him to get over yourself.
If you say the show wasn't good, I'm be thinking you. I'm like your mama ain't good. But no,
See, but no, seriously, we do accept all criticism. We want to hear what you think, and even if you have some show ideas, let us know. We'll be happy to address them, talk it over, even read it over, and let you know what we think. Thank you again for tuning into the Loveless Marriage.
we'll see you next week.
Bye.